Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. We have another US women's national team roster drop today, guys. I had a feeling it was going to be coming out at some point this week because the US will be facing Iceland and Argentina for some friendlies starting next week. The US will be playing Iceland in 2 friendlies. Game 1 will be Thursday, October 24th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Game 2 will be Sunday, October 27th at 5:30 p.m. Then the US will meet Argentina on Wednesday, October 30th at 7 o'clock p.m. And once again, all these games are Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, a pretty busy time for our ladies, but these games will serve as a good test for this team and we'll get to see where they're at since returning from the Olympics. This roster, though, could be different from the Olympic roster. I would like to see Jaden Shaw get called up again. She was selected for the Olympic roster, but didn't get any playtime. I think these games would be good for her. Kat Macaria would be fun to see. Lily Johannes as well. When it comes to Johannes, though, she hasn't committed to the US or the Netherlands just yet. She wasn't selected to the Netherlands roster this time around either. After the US won the gold medal, some fans think she may be tempted or swayed enough to commit to the US. That would be awesome to see. I've also heard from others that Ashley Sanchez is doing well. If that's the case, then sure, why not get her back in the midfield if she really is doing well? Again, these are just friendlies, and it will be good to see where the team and certain players are at. That being said, let's get into the roster, starting with the goalkeepers. All right, so for goalkeepers, Jane Campbell, Casey Murphy, and Alyssa Nair. Yeah, pretty standard. These 3 are fine and have performed well at the national level. We all know how many times Nair has saved us, so overall, these goalkeepers are fine. Maybe in the distant future, we'll see Fallon Joyce, who is actually doing well with Manchester United, but for now, better to stick with Campbell, Murphy, and Nair, given their performance and experience. Especially Nair. We may need her on penalties. Now on to the defenders. For defenders, there's quite a few. Emily Fox, Ava Gaetino, Naomi Girma, Casey Kruger, Haley Mace, Alyssa Melanson, Jenna Neiswanger, Emily Sams, and Emily Sonnet. This is quite the selection of defenders. Hopefully they can all get playtime, but it's hard to say with Emma Hayes. I would like to see Sams get some minutes this time around. She was called up for the Olympics. She didn't get any minutes at all, but still came home with a medal. Besides that, Sams is still a good defender. She's been great for the Pride. So yeah, I would like to see her get some playtime in these games. Of course, there's Fox and Girma, who were just solid in the back line during the Olympics. They're doing well right now. Can't really say the same for their clubs, but at least Arsenal looks to be getting better. Neiswanger and Kruger, good as well. I still kind of prefer Sonnet in the midfield, but I guess we do need some veteran players in the back line, especially since Kelly O'Hara decided to retire. Gaetino from PSG, I would like to see her get some minutes too. The same also goes for Melanson. I remember Melanson from the Reign last season. She now plays for Bay FC. She is a really good defender. She's kind of one that I wish the Reign fought harder to keep, but still, it's great to see her get called up to the national team. Overall, this is a really good selection of defenders. Honestly, I would like to see them all get playtime because there are 3 friendlies and it is possible. But it comes down to Emma Hayes and how she sets up her lineups. Iceland and Argentina also aren't the most challenging teams the US has faced, so some flexibility and rotation in the back line will be good to see. Regardless of who's in the back line, I don't think the back line will face much challenge, but they still have to watch out for counterattacks and transitions. That being said, on to the midfielders. For midfielders, Corbin Albert, Sam Coffey, Hal Hirschfeld, Lindsay Horan, Rose Lavelle, Olivia Moultrie, and Ashley Sanchez. So starting with the controversial one, Corbin Albert, I actually have another video coming out talking about her, the controversy surrounding her, and how she performed in the Olympics. I may post it tomorrow or Saturday. It's a long one, I think 19 minutes. But to make things short, when it comes to Corbin, controversy aside, there needs to be more consistency from her in general. She needs to be more involved with the US's build-up plays, and she needs to be more aggressive and assertive in the midfield when it comes to defensive play. Also, no turning over possession, but the same could also be said about Haran, because Haran also does the same thing. Corbin isn't bad in terms of playability, but there needs to be more work done with her, both on and off the pitch. Next up, Sam Coffey. Coffey was great in the Olympics. She was probably one of my favorite players. She was pretty consistent and confident in the midfield, and I had no issues with how she played. These matches against Iceland and Argentina won't be much of an issue for her. So Coffey is going to be fine. Next up, Haran. Haran definitely faced some harsh criticism for how she performed in the Olympics. She did some questionable things, like in the quarterfinal against Japan, trying to get forward with the attacking players instead of staying centrally in the midfield. Right now, though, Haran is doing well with Olympique Lyon. She even grabbed a few goals in the regular season. People have asked why Haran can't play for the US like she plays for Lyon. That is actually pretty simple in the sense that the US is not Lyon. Haran needs to realize that when she comes to the US women's national team, she's not playing for Lyon anymore. How the US and Lyon play are very different. She doesn't have Mauro Damaris van de Donk de Brits to support her or clean up her mistakes. If Haran continues to treat playing for the US like playing for Lyon, she's going to continue having a hard time. On to the other midfielders. Lavelle and Hirschfeld are fine. I would like to see Hirschfeld get some more minutes. And we also have Ashley Sanchez returning to the US midfield. Out of all the midfielders, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Hayes will use Sanchez in the midfield. Coffey, Haran, and Sanchez could be one way to go. Coffey, Lavelle, and Sanchez, or Coffey, Moultrie, and Hirschfeld or Sanchez could be something to try as well. Or maybe Coffey, Albert, and Sanchez. There are many midfield combinations Hayes could try with this selection. Or if she's feeling adventurous, Hayes could line up with 4 in the midfield, since that would be something Haran may probably do well with. Coffey, Haran, Lavelle, and or Hirschfeld, Corbin, Sanchez, Moultrie. The US may face some challenger pressure in the midfield from Iceland and Argentina, but it'll still be manageable enough for the US to maintain control and keep possession. With Coffey in the midfield, and as long as Haran and Albert don't turn over possession stupidly in dangerous areas, the US should be okay. Now on to the forwards. For forwards, Yasmin Ryan, Emma Sears, Jaden Shaw, Sophia Smith, Mallory Swanson, Alyssa Thompson, and Lynn Williams. Trinity Rodman was not called up this time around, as she is still rehabilitating and recovering from a back injury. The rest of these forwards are fine though. It's a good and interesting selection, especially since this is the first time Ryan and Sears have been called up, but I'm still looking forward to Shaw and Thompson the most. As we've seen from the Olympics, that front three, Smith, Swanson, and Rodman, was very strong. The connection and chemistry in the attack was great to see. With Rodman absent, who will be able to fill her position the best? I think that would actually be Thompson, but I'm interested to see how well she connects with Smith and Swanson. The same also goes with Ryan and Sears. How well will they connect with the US attack, and what can they bring to this team? Much like the Olympics, the US attack will be something to keep an eye on. I think these attacking and midfield players will do okay against Iceland and Argentina when it comes to breaking through their backline and defense. Iceland's defense may be somewhat challenging. I remember they were able to hold off Germany earlier this year, but as long as there's good support and connection in the attack and in the box, we could see the US creating a lot of chances and scoring multiple goals. Overall, the roster is fine and looks good. There are plenty of new faces, as well as players who have been called up in the past, but have gotten little to no playtime on the national team. Those are the players I would like to see more of. Since these are just friendlies, experimenting, trying different lineup combinations, figuring out who plays well with who, is likely what Hayes had in mind with this selection. Maybe stepping outside of a 4-3-3 and going with 4 or 5 in the midfield would be something to try as well. Hell, you could even move Thompson or Shaw back to the midfield if you don't want to lose that attacking option. Anyway, what do you think of this roster? Let me know in the comments section below. That is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.